Mount Tambora, or Mount Tamboro as it is also known, was formed about 57,000 years ago in what used to be known as the Dutch East Indies or current-day Indonesia. This massive volcano measured about 4,300 meters in height. Mount Tambora is a stratovolcano located on the Indonesian island of Sumbawa. The island of Sumbawa is surrounded by oceanic crust from the north and the south. These crusts have a submergent rate of about 7.8 centimeters per year. The volcanic chambers below the mountain started filling with magma from the core and eventually filled up completely around April 5, 1815. This is when the rumbling of the ground began. This is what Mount Tambora looked like before the awful, devastating explosion of 1815. And this was the result, a gigantic crater. Everything was peaceful and clear on the 10th of April. Then out of nowhere, the ground started to tremble and growl, and all you heard after that was... The pressure inside the mountain's magma chamber grew so much that it became too great for the mountain to handle, around 58,000 to 73,000 psi, and in order to relieve the pressure, it had to erupt. On the VEI, or Volcanic Explosivity Index, the Mount Tambora eruption of 1815 ranked as 7th, the world's largest, most explosive volcano ever. After this massive eruption, the volcano's height was reduced by about 33% of its original size, leaving it standing at about 2,881 meters above sea level. The eruption column of this mountain reached about 43 kilometers or 27 miles. That's all the way into the stratosphere. Now let's talk casualties. As a direct result of this eruption, more than 71,000 people were killed. 11,000 to 12,000 of these deaths were due to the eruption, and the rest were caused by thirst, hunger, or famine. 3 of Sumbawa's kingdoms were lost in this eruption. These kingdoms were known as Tambora, Bikat, and Sangor. Many other people from other islands nearby also suffered and brought the death count up to about 92,000. These deaths were caused by volcanic ash that had gotten washed away into the ocean and carried by tsunami to nearby islands. Here we have a clip of a group of tourists right next to Mount Tambora as it erupted.
Keep moving.
Did it just erupt? I thought this was dormant.
This is small, I hope. Wow. Johan, ask them what we should do. Wow. Holy moly. Well, the wind's blowing the other way. Wow. Wow, it's going so high.
Han. Han. Arah ke sana, Han. Bilang lari.
Move that way. Holy moly. Wow.
Holy cow.
It's still coming.
Woi. Hah? Han, arahnya kemari, Han. Arahnya sana, Han, biar nggak kena punya, Han. Ke sana, kemari arah.
For at least 6 months before its eruption on April 5, 1815, Mount Tambora was emitting increasing amounts of steam. Modern-day experts estimate smaller eruptions occurred for as many as 3 years before the 1815 explosion. Following the original upsurge, which produced ash and thunder-like sounds that could be heard up to 850 miles away, a larger explosion took place on April 10th and 11th, 1815. This eruption produced 3 columns of fire that historical records describe as rising to a great height. The volcano's eruption was so powerful it left a massive crater known as a caldera in the center of the mountain, a remnant that remains in July 2011. Now we present you with some interesting and weird side effects of the Mount Tambora eruption of 1815. These are not only side effects, these also include fun facts. The eruption of Mount Tambora in 1815 caused it to rain so heavily in July that some young writers in Sweden had to stay inside for months at a time, so they challenged each other to write the scariest story. These people included Percy Shelley, Mary Shelley, Lord Byron, and Lord Byron's physician, John Paladari. Out of this competition came Frankenstein by Mary Shelley and The Vampire by John Paladari. These books both became famous far on into the future. The Vampire then led on to influence the modern day vampires, so pretty much no eruption of Mount Tambora, no twilight, which would make all of our lives better. Mount Tambora's historic eruption in 1815 had effects all over the world. Not only were the earthquakes ignited by the explosion felt up to 300 miles away, but the ash and magma, or volcanic rock, produced covered more than 30 cubic miles. The ash ejected by Mount Tambora's eruption reduced the amount of sunlight that reached Earth's surface, and is credited with causing the global cooling effect that led to the year without a summer in 1816. As I just said, the year that Mount Tambora erupted, 1815 and 1816, was considered the year without a summer. The ash produced by Mount Tambora eruption in 1815 produced a cloud of ash that circled the globe and caused global temperatures to decrease by an average of 5 degrees Fahrenheit during the summer of 1816. The planet's northern hemisphere, including North America, was hardest hit by the global cooling phenomenon, though it took more than a year following the eruption to take effect. Similar global cooling effects have resulted from volcanic eruptions since, including the Mount Krakatoa explosion in 1883 in Indonesia, and the Mount Pinatubo eruption in 1991 in the Philippines. The crater, or caldera, produced by the 1815 Mount Tambora eruption measures more than 3 miles wide and more than 3,600 feet deep. In 2004, archaeologists discovered the preserved bodies of 2 adults buried in nearly 10 feet of ash in the remnants of a small village on the volcano. The discovery is similar to one made in the wake of the eruption of Mount Vesuvius in Italy in the year 79 that destroyed the city of Pompeii, prompting Mount Tambora's nickname as the Pompeii of the East. When the volcano of Mount Tambora erupted, British sailors saw it erupt, and they were some of the only living witnesses. Even a year after the eruption, it snowed in June and ruined many people's farms and houses. This caused people to move out of many states in the US to other states, which decrease their incline from when they were founded. When the volcano erupted, lava traveled up to 400 miles per hour. The pyroclastic surge devastated everything and anything in its path. The leftover pressure inside Mountain Tambora is still there and constantly building. Many scientists predict that it will be around 1,000 years before any explosion or eruption anywhere close to the eruption of Mount Tambora will happen.